We live, we live, we live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. First time in a very long time. Hoop Recruit Radio is back. I'm your host, aka the founder of NJ Hoop Recruit, Justin Delaney. It's a pleasure to be back in front of y'all. We're trying something new with this Hoop Recruit Radio. Got a couple of my peers in the media space who are going to join me in a few. So if you're not already, please subscribe. Make sure y'all share the live stream with a friend or two. If you're on the gram, make sure y'all share it with a friend on the gram. Again, if y'all haven't subscribed, make sure y'all subscribe. And give me just be patient with me. My fault, y'all. Everything's everything's going according to plan. But like I said, Hoop Recruit Radio. Episode, I think like 17, 18. This is like the first one we did in like 2 or 3 years. But I'm not going to ramble too much. Again, do appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Couple of housekeeping items. Again, we'll be here every Sunday. Every Sunday. Moving forward for the foreseeable future, 9 p.m. On YouTube. I'd be remiss if I didn't share some housekeeping items. First things first, the Metro Classic returns to New Jersey this upcoming Thursday, February 6th through the 8th. Happy to announce that I'll be partnering with All Abilities Live, as well as Metro, to bring all the games live. We'll also have a couple of exclusive streams for the YouTube. So please keep an eye out for that. And again, if you haven't done so already, please make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure you like, comment. Every little bit of engagement definitely goes a long way. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up my co-hosts. We're gonna do some introductions. These two gentlemen are among some of the most, in my opinion, some of the most reliable and just knowledgeable figures in the New Jersey media space. We got my guy Fermel from the Visual Hub, my guy Jim Rats, the South Jersey legend. Fellas, please introduce yourselves. Let the people know where they can find your content.
Me? I bet. All right. My name is Devontae. I'm from film primarily in New Jersey. And a lot of my content is based from Jersey, Philly, New York. Like sometimes I'll go there or whatever. And the main I guess I'm gonna be brief. The main objective is to provide content. To provide content for young players so they could get the exposure they need and I don't know, try to give Jersey some type of North Jersey, South Jersey, it doesn't matter, some type of identity. Because it's a lot of I gotta stop saying it's a lot of
You remember when we first met? I don't mean to cut you off. You remember when we first met?
Of course I remember when we first met. Can I tell a story?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't mean to cut Fermel. And Fermel, we gonna get you, but you know,
You're good. You're good. Yeah, you're good.
Radio. So.
All right. So when we first met was 2018. A lot of Metro Classic coming up. It's funny that we bring it up, but 2018, we was on the baseline for the what game was before the main event? It was I think it was St. Benedict's and St. Benedict's and La Lumiere, whoever. We was on the baseline for that game prior to the main event. And I was talking to somebody and I said, it was a Hudson Catholic game. And then they was like, oh yeah, Hudson just played at they had a home game or whatever. I said, yeah, I seen it. It was on NJ Hoop Recruit story. And he was like, oh yeah, I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm NJ Hooper Crew, and I was like, oh shit, because this is when I first started stepping to the scene with the sports media.
And it's also funny. You know what you told me, and this is before we met. But you're like, yo, I got to tell you some real shit. You're like, yo, like the last 2 years, I just been going to events, and I tell them I'm you when I go to the at the table for credentials. I was like, yo, you got this far, keep doing it, bro.
Yeah, you got to finesse when you in this space. But like I said, I was like, oh snap, like you NJ Hooper Crew. I've been following you since forever.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Justin always been down to earth, always been like, you know what I mean, not too ahead of himself, and just he always been like, yo, I'm here. He never like he always been down here, like as like down to earth. When sometimes like a lot of people like they think they're ahead of themselves in this space when they don't like he really like the number one in this space.
Yeah.
And he
For
always
someone who is where he is.
Yeah. I know everybody tell him that. I know it's like, but that's what it's been like since I met him. But anyway, I'm a fast forward through the story or whatever. Some guy who runs I shouldn't say this part, but nah, should I say this part? Nah.
Yeah, fuck it, man. We here.
Right, fuck it, why not? So I'm gonna tell detail by detail. He told he was going around on the baseline. A lot of us didn't have credentials. I think he went over there with Ben Shot it. He told Ben Shot to put his camera away.
So sidebar, this was before credentials existed. I would argue, and not to make this about me, but I think it was like 2016, 2017. And I remember the last year I got credentials, the NJSIA told me explicitly via email. They were like, yo, we're going to give them to you this year, but like, we don't consider you media, in so many words. And that was like the beginning of me, being okay with paying and like not going through that problem. So I say that to say that year, I was like I had the key to the city in Jersey. I had the shit around my neck. Nobody else had a credential at that time. And if you had a credential at that time, you could get into any game, sold out. Like it was like a golden ticket. Like I remember going to Linden versus Roselle Catholic, and this is Nas Reed sophomore, junior year. Linden games used to sell out by the JV game. I remember, crowd outside of the door, nobody could get in. I used to be able to walk in with the credential, golden ticket, get in. I remember Bergen Bosco, 2016, 2017, Ron Harper, Marcellus Erlington, again, sold out dates, pulled up that credential, got in. So fast forward to the Metro. This is, and for context, Priya and I are we're both cool right now, but my miseducation into like that media space was I thought my credential warranted me a spot on like the Metro baseline, which was at Keene, and like there's a million different events at Keene. So again, I got into the gym. Like nobody at Keene pressed me. I was like, here media, boom, boom. Got in, didn't pay nothing. So I get to the baseline, and this is really why I fuck with my guy. This is really why I fuck with my guy.
Wait, hold up. Before you you elaborate more, yo, it was so funny because that was like the one and only time I ever seen you with a press credential. Like now I think about it, like that when you was on that base, I haven't seen a press credential since. But that's funny that you say that. He was like, yo, I got the credential. He was like, oh, but go ahead, my fault.
So so I pretty much flashed the credential on some like I can go anywhere I want, and that was like the day that I learned it's levels. Like you can have a credential, but if it ain't a state event, and the Metro is a private event, it's quiet. So context, RJ Barrett comes to New Jersey. I think this is RJ Barrett's senior. I believe him and Nas's senior year. Mm-hmm. RJ was considered the number one recruit. I think Nas was somewhere between 5 and 10. Had always been within the top 25. But biggest game like of the year. Again, I'm kind of at my peak in a sense that I've got access anywhere. I got the credential. I can go anywhere. So I'm on the baseline, first quarter, like getting these. Nobody else is on the baseline. It's literally me. And I looked to the right, and like I kind of met Devontae. Like he was kind of in the cut. We kind of broke a little bread, but wasn't nothing crazy. So long story short, I'm film myself. Got these crazy views that nobody else got. And Priya pulls up on me. And coincidentally, I had reached out to him like a day or two before, like, yo,
I
like I'm
remember this part.
Metro. And again, I consider myself like the mayor of New Jersey at the time. Like, if I wanted to go somewhere, like 99% of the time, it was love. But I reached out to Pre. I was like, yo, like, I want to come through, do some media. He's like, okay, that's cool. Maybe next year. And I'm like, wait, like, what do you mean? Like, this is the biggest game of the year. This is Nas Reed versus RJ Barrett in New Jersey. Like, I'm NJ Hoop Recruit. This is 2017, 2018. Like, it meant something. And so, long story short, Priya pressed me on the baseline. And he was like, yo, give me your camera. He was like you can't, like, that content's not yours. And that was something I never heard or like seen anybody do or say. And at the same time, Devontae was like to my left. And so, like, while his attention is on me, he like pivots over to Devontae. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, are you filming too? Like, give me your camera. Like, you have to delete all that. So he got so focused with Devontae, I happened to like be able to like slip off the baseline. Mind you, I was embarrassed. Like, I was the only person on the baseline. Everybody knew who I was, and I got pressed. Like, it's not every day AJ Hoop gets pressed, but I got pressed. Long story short, Devontae was he was the fall man. He almost got kicked out. He almost got arrested. And again, it took the attention off me. I was able to like dip off into the bleachers. I kept all my video. I was able to, eventually, again, I was joking with Ramel earlier how NJ Hoop Recruit is like the Robin Hood of New Jersey media, in a sense that I'm always like, giving back to the people. But I remember, I barely got out the gym, still had my camera, still had my SD, still had all the film. Immediately jumped in the car. I think that was like one of the quickest mixes I ever did. I busted that shit down in like 5 minutes. And again, RJ Barrett, Nas Reed. RJ was going at Nas. He was like, my shit, something to that extent.
I remember that.
But that was the beginning. We're like 15 minutes into the live. So I say that to say that was my introduction to my guy Devontae. But we play ball a lot. Again, solid dude. We've been talking about this forever. But I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't give my guy Fermel an opportunity to introduce himself. Plug the social.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Fermel. Run the Visual Hub. Most people know me as like the Visual Hub, even though like I don't go by that or anything like that. But I've been doing this filming of the basketball in New Jersey since like 2016, 2017. I think we first met at a fall ball game, Roselle Catholic. I think it was Roselle Catholic Linden fall ball. That I'm pretty sure.
Oh, was that at the Linden Rec?
At the Rec, yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
That was a very rare fall ball.
Yeah,
because Jimmy would usually be Monday, Wednesday. That was like Tuesday or Thursday. It was like the alt day, and Roselle played in it. Was that Nas's junior year or senior year?
That was his senior year, I think.
Senior year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
I just got my camera. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. No, I pulled up for overtime with that. I was working with overtime, and they had me. That's how I got like really.
With overtime.
That's how I got my access to everything.
We got to talk about that. I need to know what that. And I don't mean to cut you off.
You good, fam?
So, but I'm curious what that business model was.
For sure.
That lured so many young creatives in.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, they got me into it. Got me into a lot of stuff. It was easy to. They had their people. They reached out to whoever it was they needed to reach out to and handle all that. Said they had a person coming and they would get, I forgot how I got in contact with them. I might have like seen an ad on like Facebook or something or Indeed, bro. Like literally, like it was crazy. And they offered $40 to film the game with your phone. And then I told them I had a camera and they were like, okay, cool. And they started giving me like $100 to film with my camera. So sometimes if they wanted me to film my phone, I'd pull up with my little homie, have him film my phone, and I'd be filming with my camera. And like I'd be like, all right, you gonna get the content for them, I'm gonna get the content for me, and we're gonna make this work. Like, and as long as they had their stuff, it was cool. But that's how I got introduced, like really got introduced into high school basketball. And I mean, I played obviously, and I personally know a lot of guys that are pretty ingrained in the culture themselves. So just naturally, it was kind of when I started doing the camera work heavy. Once I started doing sports, it kind of just connected and blew up from there. With almost 10K followers now on Instagram. do the mixtape stuff, do the highlight thing, whatever, documentary stuff, all that good stuff. Really a filmmaker at heart. So that's really where my focus is, but can't stay away from high school basketball in Jersey. It's like a drug, man.
Like a drug, man.
I was away for like, I think I took like a year where I kind of chilled, and I kind of regret it because it's like I missed a couple guys that I wanted to see a little bit more. But now with where New Jersey basketball is, I think that it's really a pivotal time to be capturing some of this stuff because we might have some future stars on our hands,
Okay.
So.
Can I say a quick story how I met my boy from Mel?
Sure.
So we was at Hoopsville. This when Briscoe dropped 74. And then
you have to pull that video up.
Yeah, I think he was doing some type of he was coming down the court doing some spider dribble.
He was wow.
Yes.
And then I think he pulled up for a three. And then he was like, yo, he was like, yo, I haven't seen this thing in the middle or whatever. So then, like, I'll connect with you. And then we was like, yo, like, you putting up Briscoe? I said, you visual hub? He was like, yeah. I said, don't you do football? He was like, bro, just do football. Like, he got all hot. Like, that shit was funny. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yo, it's nice to meet you. We connect. We switch Instagrams, numbers, and all that. And then the rest was history for sure.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
every time I see him, for sure.
Oh, man. Well, shit.
Definitely been a genuine guy.
Yeah, for sure. But if we can we be honest? Can we be real honest right now? Listen, I don't mean to muck things up just because we on the live stream. We got to be honest. This is definitely a down year for Jersey basketball.
All right, so I mean I was gonna try to keep it positive.
We gotta say how we really feel though. If that's how we feel, it is what it is.
And objectively speaking, I think there's a variety of ways you can like objectively make that argument. One, from like a McDonald's All-American perspective, I am happy that we can claim Darius. I am happy that we can claim Darius. But we have been super fortunate the last 6, 7, 8 years. I think the last year we didn't have an All-American. It was like 20. I think it was after Briscoe. The year after Briscoe, I think we didn't have one. But since
Nick
then,
Richards, right? Nick Richards.
What's that?
Was it Nick Richards?
No, I think he was 2 years after Briscoe.
Oh, you're right. All right. Because it would have been Ty's battle.
I think 2017.
Yeah. You're right.
We didn't have an All-American. Yeah, it would have been like Ty's battle, theoretically. But yeah, we didn't have. That was the first year we did, and I was afraid we weren't going to have one. But shout out to Darius. Kudos to him. That's a whole segment in itself. And I made a comment earlier this week, and I said something to the effect of like he's a prime example of where like preparation meets opportunity. And really, what I meant by that was like Ben Roy going into his senior year was supposed to be going down as the Manasquan GOAT. Unfortunately, tore his ACL at a fall ball event. He was like 300 points away from being like the all-time leading scorer. And Darius was kind of like this, he was like a speculative prospect. It's like, he's lanky, kind of looks like Steph Curry, but this is Ben's team. And like, any volume he's going to get is going to be post Ben Roy. But again, Ben goes down preseason fall ball at shout out to my guy, Pat Lawless, goes down at his event. And I remember that was like the first really good game. I like for a couple of years, what I saw him do that first day Ben went down was like the best I had ever seen him play, probably up until he won the championship with Squan. But it wasn't written for him. Like, like people wanted him to succeed, but it wasn't, explicitly written. It was Ben's team and Ben's year. He was
Nick Foles on the Eagles that year.
It wasn't all peaches and cream.
Not to take anything away from him.
No. And it wasn't all peaches and cream his freshman year. He had his struggles, but he scored 1,000 points in like a year and 3/4, 2 seasons. Tremendous talent. Manchester Township, New Jersey, Manasquan High School. Shout out to my guy Darius Adams, again, McDonald All-American. I was a little worried we weren't going to have one this year.
He was at what, 26?
He had 20. He like went up. The Lalu move definitely helped. I guess rather than like going into the Squan thing, I think this is a good segue to talk about just the culture, the top not culture, but the top, kind of like, some years they say it's top heavy, bottom heavy. But when you look at the upperclassmen, let me not say upperclassmen, when you look at the seniors this year, and just, I guess, from like a McDonald's All-American perspective, like national name perspective, and like clear, dominant, like, force perspective, many are making the argument / complaint this year that, we, quote, fell off. Again, one McDonald All-American, he didn't play in New Jersey the last 2 seasons, which didn't help. Again, he's from New Jersey, but the reality is he didn't play here. But yeah, a lot of people are saying that Jersey, did Jersey fall off? Like, is it falling? Like, is this just a pullback? Is this an off year? So Devontae, let me ask you, like, when you brought that up, like, let's talk about it. Like, is it a down year? And if so, like, in what context?
Because if you look at, like, all right, New Jersey lost. Well, the Patrick school's not really. I mean, they're getting there, but they're not really.
Chavenis might be watching this.
Not saying like Jordan Walker, Kyrie Irving, Michael Kidd. Like, they're not Max Prep's top 3. We don't got St. Anthony's. St. Anthony's is not really like when we had down years. We had those teams to fall back on. Like, this sounds crazy, but we really had those teams to fall back on when, like, we didn't really have a top 100 recruit or not top 100, like a top 25 guy or like any type of team that was in the, like.
Do we have? So let me ask you, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
And like, I'll go on record. Like, this time, I knew October of 2019 or 2018. DJ Wagner was going to be top 25, and those who know. Like, I've shared certain things with certain people over the years. I've made certain calls, and the majority of them have been right. I was right about that one. And there's a couple I have in mind that I think are legitimate, are going to be on that call. So, usually that list comes out, I think, every like May, June. Do we have a top 25 prospect in the freshman class right now? Like, we talked about falling off from like a top-down perspective, but from the bottom, I mean, there's a lot of promise in that freshman class. But do we have like a top 25 recruit in the freshman class right now? And if so, who is it? And for Mel, you from Trenton, so you on the clock. Or you from Mercer County, so you on the clock. You know where I'm going with this.
I mean,
do we have a top 25 talent in the freshman class right now? Is it y'all sound tentative, so it sounds like it's too soon to.
All right, so shots by Cozy said Makai. If you look at the chat, shots by Cozy said Makai Moore, Malik. The chat saying.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Cozy 3 for 3 right now. Cozy's 3 for 3 right now.
Oh, Malik.
I would agree with like I said, Malik and Makai, being the closest to, that regard. But
4 for 4 and films, we're 4 for 4 now. Yeah, Mark, we're talking in the country. We're talking top 25 in the country. Do we and who is going to be on that first ESPN? Rivals, I think they don't put theirs out till like later in like the spring, summer. Do we have a name? Naz Reid was top 25, like first,
since 8th grade.
Yeah, I mean that first ESPN. DJ Wagner, he was top 25 out the gate. Nas Cunningham, I think. I don't think Elliott was. I don't think Hardware. I think Nas was, because Nas was number one.
Number one, yeah.
It was Derek Queen and Nas. They kind of like went back and forth.
Damn, I forgot about that. Damn.
Again, obviously DJ Wagner. I don't think we didn't have one this past. We have a couple of guys that, in my mind, I think, and I think this spring a lot changes, but I think Micah should have been on.
Everybody's saying Malik.
I think Jacob Canton should have been on the first one. I think Andrew Krankowski.
That I like that one.
I think those three. I think they're going to regret not having those three on there last year. I think one of the talking points we had was like looking at the Rivals ranking, because they probably have like the most comprehensive in terms of like, beyond 50 or 60, like they're going into 150, 200. And the majority of those guys, I think, were on that list. But I think Micah should have been on there. I think Andrew should have been there. I think Jacob should have been all Hoop Jam alum, by the way.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that too.
So let's go back to the freshman class because I don't want to break this. Do we have a top 25? Do we have a guy who's going to be on that top 25 right now? And if so, who?
I'm gonna go with Census. I'm gonna let you go, Mel, in a second. I'm gonna go with Census with the chat. I'm gonna go. I think Malik and Makai is pretty. That's pretty clear cut. Not clear cut, but that's
your favorite. Are you saying he's the best freshman in New Jersey? Is that where you're going with this?
Oh man,
I would argue. I would argue, like from a usage perspective, he's probably got the greenest light of all of those guys. Malik starting, Will starting, Young Bull from College Achieve, he's starting. But
I definitely think Will is
any of their lights are greener than Makai's. Yeah,
it's all on the circuit. The circuit.
Nah, don't leave it. See, this is what this is what legitimizes our ability to evaluate talent. Like, I'm not gonna let Paulie tell me. Like, I looked at who was I filming that game with? I remember when DJ Wagner scored 35 on Roselle, October of his freshman year, fall ball hoop group fall event. I forget who I told. I was like, oh, he's top 25. Like, and I told people up until that spring. And it happened. And I shout out to my guy Samad Hines. I remember he came down to Jersey fall of 2020 when Jimmy did the fall ball event at Glenfield. And we had Dylan Harper, we had Elliot Cadeau, Mackenzie was out there, Nas was out there, Tahad Elliott. But like we had, Mark Armstrong was out there. Granted, he was older than all of them. But we had I knew that year. I was like, oh yeah, him. I remember my guy Samad in North Carolina. I hit my guys. I said, yo, Mob, like these are the guys. Like I'm letting you know now. This is October before the season starts. These are the guys that are, they might not make the first one, but they're going to be on the top. They're going to be on that first rendition. So go ahead, finish your list, Devontae. Was that it?
Makai.
I think we got five.
Yeah. I'm cool. I'm
at
cool
least
with five. Because I'm gonna be honest, I really only know 3 that really jump off the page. Like,
so let me stop you there.
A little early cut.
And we're gonna find out at Hoop Jam. But which class is stronger, the freshman class or the sophomore class?
Oh, nah. Oh, wait. That's sophomore class.
Because the freshman class has like length. They've got certain length that they got the Brunson, they got the Maliks, like they've got like the 6'6", the guys that like theoretically, like on paper, check certain boxes.
I think.
Granted, sophomores.
I think it's that freshman class, bro. I definitely think it's that freshman class.
Bro, the real 2 strongest classes in New Jersey right now is that sophomore class and that junior class. Those are the 2 strongest classes.
Okay, so you're saying the sophomore class is better than the freshman class?
Oh, what? You talking about what? You talking about what? Micah?
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah,
because we gonna have to play us back in like a year or two.
Yo, at Hoop Jam,
you gonna have to stand on. You gonna have to stand on this,
bro. At Hoop, like that junior class, they got Tori, they got Richie Rosa, they got Ken, they got freaking what grade Jacob in? The sophomore class?
Jacob's a sophomore.
Oh,
it's that sophomore class. It's Micah, that's Jacob, sophomore. Andrew. Who else is a sophomore?
What Jalen Grant is a what? Junior?
Jalen's a junior.
They got so many
Micah,
guards.
Jacob, Andrew.
I'm trying to think like what forwards.
That's really what it comes down. MJ, he's a sleeper. MJ Jarrell from Mo Beard. He's I'm calling it now. He's a 2,000 point scorer.
Yeah.
Again, somebody loop that up. We're gonna play that back in about 2 years. Because he's a 2,000 point scorer.
Clip the chat.
Yo,
that's too funny.
But now, that sophomore class is kind of crazy though.
That sophomore class is crazy.
So y'all going with the sophomore?
It's guard
now,
heavy.
but it's like, again, is it going to hold up a year from now? Because again, there's certain things that freshmen, like Will, Malik, Micah. That's just 3. We not even mentioning Markel from College Achieve. We also not talking about young boy from Bergen who hasn't even hit his growth spurt yet.
Yeah, he's been going crazy.
And he's been getting minutes lately.
The kid from Blair is a freshman too. He's pretty good. Ian.
Wait, Shipley is a sophomore too?
Who?
Darren Shippey?
No. He's a junior.
Rippy. I said Shippey.
He's 26.
Don't roast me. Shippey. Rippy. Yeah. He's a junior?
No, he's a junior. There's another kid on the team. Is a freshman. I think he's pretty good.
Oh man. Dang, it's just so many guards.
John Forbes, Marquis Johnson, Makai, Jalen Lewis from Bosco.
It's definitely a tough matchup.
Jalen Lewis.
Liu from Hudson, Malik Moore, Will Brunson, Bryce McCray, Jace Rodriguez from Colonia, Kevin Wheatley, AJ Grieg from Ramapo's got another one.
I've seen
Chase Brett, Dylan Stone. Camden's got a couple of guys. Cornelius Robinson's little brother. He's over at Camden now.
Yeah, freshman.
There's some guys. So, I mean, I say that we're going to find out at Hoop Jam. We're going to find out because last year I didn't do a freshman sophomore game because I didn't really feel good about it. I'm trying to see something. We're going to get to the bottom of that.
Yo, but the thing is, that senior class, that junior class, they're going to put, because I was about to say, it's going to be Shaq versus, Spirilla at Hoop Gym.
Who?
Shaq from Plainfield.
Versus who?
What's his name? The Brazilian kid from Dominican kid from Peters.
Yeah. Peters.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna be a goodie.
That's gonna be busting TV. I go.
Yeah. So speaking of that, shameless plug. You can watch that game on All Abilities Live, presented by NJ Hoop Recruit. We're gonna jump subjects a little bit because we a little all over the place. We started with is it a down year? We segued into freshmen, sophomores, who's better.
Hoop Jam is gonna be so many. It's gonna be so many guards. Oh my gosh,
I'll tell you what. While we're still on the subject of 26, 27, 28, again, we talked about shout outs to my guy Darius Adams, McDonald All-American. He'll be at Metro Classic this weekend. If you want to watch that live, you know where to find it through the NJ Hoop Recruit Network. We'll have the link on our story and all that. So again, we know who the All-Americans this year. I don't think anybody would say there were any snubs. I haven't heard anybody say X, Y. Nah, it was what it was this year.
Yeah, it was.
But next year and this spring is we're gonna find out a lot this spring. From a variety of ways. There've been a couple of teams that have jumped circuits. More recently, we saw New Heights, I think they did a merger with Lightning the last couple of summers. Yeah. They've officially jumped over to Adidas. They haven't revealed the roster. I have been seeing them at a variety of games, so I have an idea of who's, but nothing, you know what they say, nothing's official until you see them on that court. But we're going to find out a lot. We're going to find out a lot this spring. A lot of guys on the fence. Y'all just said it, the junior class is the most promising class in Jersey. So with that being said, and I don't think any of those guys, we got a handful of top 50s, 60s. I think Rippy on paper, he's the highest ranked. Kaner is up there.
Rippy 16, right?
16. Yeah, depending on where he's up there. Like I said, Kaner, Aiden, Jaden Hodge, Ethan Mbako. I think he's the dark horse. I think he's the dark horse this spring. He's leading the EYBL Scholastic in scoring.
He would I forgot, he would team takeover in AAU, right?
No, so he jumped ship. So he's actually on the Adidas circuit. He's with Team Loaded now.
Team Loaded.
That boy he been in Virginia a little too long. I told him I need some shorts.
Tory.
Ethan, if you listening, I need those shorts. I need those Team Loaded shorts. hold me down. You know what I mean? You might see NJ Hoop Recruit on the Adidas circuit for the first time ever.
All right,
17.
hold up. I got to ask y'all too. I wasn't there. People want to know about that Plainfield game on Saturday. Y'all gotta give context.
Hold on. All right, speaking of context. All right, so speaking of context, for those who weren't there, we actually were at Roselle Catholic this past Saturday. Going to show some highlights, and then we're going to jump into that, which is probably a good segue into the next topic. So a variety of ways to go, but I'll start here. And I didn't drop rankings last week just because it was a short week. We're going to drop rankings tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. But as of my last rankings, number 5, Roselle Catholic, went on to defeat who I had number 1 for 2 weeks, Plainfield, 69-73 in Plainfield. Junior Trey Lewis, I believe he led all scorers at Roselle. I think he had like 21. I think he had like 5 assists and like 6 blocks. Hell of a performance. I heard from a birdie that he's not even being like recruited. So if there are any college coaches listening, watching, get in your job. Trey Lewis, class of 2026, Roselle Catholic. But yeah, a lot to unfold from that game. Plainfield would ultimately that was their second loss of the season. Their first loss was to Elizabeth. In Elizabeth, the first or second week of the season. Roselle now improves to 15-4. Speaking of Roselle, shout out to my guy Todd Decker, man. A lot of people counted him out last year, and bravo. I mean, season's far from over, but with consideration to what he lost and like the situation, I got to tip my hat off to him. So Roselle is now 15-4. Plainfield is 18-2. That infamous Union County Conference.
Crazy, man.
So yeah, a lot to unfold. So again, Plainfield was number 1. Is there a new number 1? If so, who? And then maybe then from there we dovetail into just the variability, because we've been seeing a lot of like, and some would argue this is part of the reason why it's a down year. Like typically you don't see this kind of variability. I mean, granted, everybody loses, but typically you don't see like you didn't see Camden, just like trading games 2019 to 2022. It's levels with the elite, and against that, some would argue that's part of the problem. So, who's number 1?
I still got Plainfield. I think that loss was. There's a lot of things you can account that loss to. From being there. I still think they are one of the most dominant teams, if not the most dominant team in the state. So I think just from an all-around standpoint, they're still just the number 1 team to me.
So they're still number 1 here, but
yeah.
I think that don't change. I'm not trying to segue into Saturday, but I think Saturday really decides who is that Plainfield Peters decides who's the real number 1.
Yeah.
Hey, Tay, we got to talk. We got to talk because Pramel, I think it's going over his Pramel. You know what I mean? I think it's going over Tay. I don't think Tay read the paper.
Yeah, I don't think he got the memo.
But
Tay, we gonna talk after the live, Tay.
Okay.
No, but remind me, we got to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you do end up doing the player of the year, doing the player of the year, I will say Shaq is averaging 20 points. Not 20, he averaging about 16 points and like 22 rebounds. If you do end up doing the player of the year, my media vote goes to Shaq. They lost one game with him.
Not a lot of teams say that, right?
Well, they lost one game without him, but
he's a force.
So you're going to go on record to say that they're still your number one team in Jersey. Is that what you're saying?
I can't say till
when?
Saturday.
Okay.
I mean, granted, with what he clearly doesn't know, with what he.
No, chill. Mel, it's cool.
My fault. I'm probably saying something federal.
No, you good.
No, you straight.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with him though. Still, that Saturday will. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I still think Saturday is going to be a good game, and I think Saturday will still, determine some things, barring, situation at hand.
I'm about to text you something.
But I do think, clear cut, still playing the field, even with that Roselle Catholic loss.
Really?
I'm about to throw it in the chat. You heard? No reactions though. Just it's about the Luka trade. It's something that has to do with the Luka trade.
Shout out to Bron.
Shout outs to Bron. Shout outs to Kai.
Shout out to Kyrie.
And Kai and AD. That's something not a lot of people.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
that's gonna be crazy.
Yo, Tay, check the chat.
I did.
All right, bet. So let's get back to let's get back to the question at hand. All right. So for Mel, you said Plainfield still your number one.
Definitely.
Monte, you said they're still your number one.
Yeah, they number one. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, they number one.
you all right? So you're not gonna wait till Saturday?
Nah, Saturday over.
Bet. Yeah, I think obviously Roselle, I think they have a case. They got 4 losses on the season, so there's something to be said about that. I think if not Roselle, I think the only other team that's legitimately in that conversation right now, and there's a couple that are on the bubble, but I would just say Bergen, Roselle, and Peters, and Hudson.
Hudson's looking good this
year. Hudson beat Peters.
They did, and they lost to Gil St. Bernard.
I didn't like that. Yeah. But Gil St. Bernard is...
They're top 25, for sure. Are they top 10?
25?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're NJ top 25. They're not 25.
I'm talking about a year. I'm talking about...
They were 13 in our last rankings. And my last note is that they're probably going to move up. They lost to Bosco, St. Peter's, St. Rose, Roselle Catholic. All formidable opponents, and they got some notable wins over Seton Hall Prep, who wasn't ranked to start the season. They're now ranked. Rutgers Prep, Hudson Catholic, respectable wins. Hudson was like my number one, I think, at one point. Rutgers Prep, I think a lot of people had them, high to start the season. I think they're just a little too young still. That's my biggest discrepancy against Gill. They've got wins, St. Joe's Montvale, respectable. Glen Rock, Pascack Valley, cool. Again, can't take anything away from the Hudson, Rutgers Prep wins, but they need probably a couple more. And I'm probably missing a win or two. And if so, forgive me. But I think as far as like the number one conversation, I think it's pretty short. Plainfield, St. Peter's, Bergen, Roselle, Hudson. I'm not going to give it up now because we're going to drop the rankings in the morning. But so, again, we talked about down years.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
So in y'all opinion, who has did y'all ever see like a team with this much gravity around like Camden? When DJ was there, it was gravity, but like Plainfield, that Elizabeth game was sold out. Every home game is pretty much sold out.
Yeah, and that wasn't the case at Camden. And you could argue Camden's gym seats more, and it's there's definitely a different city dynamic in Camden, New Jersey, versus Plainfield. Like you can casually. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went to Donkeys.
Plainfield has so much like I don't want to say just like pride as like a city, but like there's people that I know like I moved to like South Brunswick, right? And everybody I knew when I was in South Brunswick, mad people I knew were from Plainfield still, like, and they still rep Plainfield like heavy, like so. I think it's also you gotta account that also to the city and the city's pride, like in the people's pride for being from Plainfield.
Like I've never seen a base like just
it's different.
Fundamentally that strong.
It's
like,
different.
Well, like when you was on
game, Elizabeth.
Exactly.
The RC game was a home game for Plainfield, pretty much, yo. It was like almost all Plainfield fans at that RC game, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, they've thank God for. And it's not even so much. The best part is it's not even so much students. I mean, there are students, but it's like adults.
Yeah,
it's grown like that. That's the difference with playing. And so again, it's definitely got a community dynamic to it that helps.
It's so funny that old head dude, the LeBron chalked off.
Bro, he wore a muscle suit, bro. The RC game, he wore a muscle suit, man. Like I got a clip of him flex. Oh man, I wish I had that.
Oh, y'all want to see it?
There you go. Yeah. It's a shout out to him for real. That's real, pride in where you from and supporting those kids.
It's on my YouTube. If you watch the first 5 minutes, the first 3 minutes of the RC Plainfield game on my YouTube.
Definitely go check that out on the YouTube.
It's there. Fellas, we're coming up on 46 minutes. And I do want to be mindful of everybody's time. We've talked about a variety of topics. I think this one was there anything else y'all wanted to beat up on in terms of like the number one or variability in rankings? Or
I mean for next week, because I got something I want to bring up, but I want to keep it here right now. So
yeah,
I say that the top three is up in the air. I mean, as far as Plainfield is for me number one, but if you want to put Peters there or swap out Bergen, whoever, it's definitely interchangeable. But I think that number one for me, I would just have to go with Plainfield.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of this time of the year is like preseason rankings, it's all speculative. It's like, oh, they're going to beat them. They're going to be like, now we're at a point in the season where strength of schedule has been validated, or like the games you were supposed to win, you either won those or you didn't win them. Right. Strength of schedule is kind of validated, and like dominance is kind of validated at this point in the season. So there's little to no speculation, as you get to this point, and again in terms of just like wins and losses. But it's definitely one of those years. So let's talk New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year. Hold on, let me see. No, I'll just read off. I'm gonna see if I can.
Hold up. This comment said, y'all must have forgot when DJ and Sim packed the gym. I mean, that was Roselle and Camden.
That was one game.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
They packed Jersey Mike's. Like, that's Roselle and Camden. That's 1 and 2.
It was one game. It was a hell of a game. I was there.
Bro.
But it
Plainfield and Westfield will fill up to the bleachers. Like,
yeah, Plainfield sells out. Plainfield Linden sold out. Like Plainfield Union Catholic sold out. I don't think there was ever a time that I went.
I'm gonna say Plainfield Elizabeth at Keene. That was jam packed, bro.
Yo, go on Visual Hub IG. You see the freaking line go all the way back to the parking lot.
When I pulled up 45 minutes early, bro, and the line was almost to the parking lot. And me with the camera, I'm walking past everybody, of course, but the line was to the parking lot, bro. And I was like, I know this is, and I tell everybody, like, that's that public school, repping your city, where you're from. Like, if you put a movie together, if you look at, with Coach Carter, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was city versus city, not to knock the non-publics, not to knock the private schools and the the prep schools and all that, but when you're truly playing for where you're from, or where you were raised, and in front of the people that seen you since you was 7 years old, 8 years old, and watch you become you hit that shot, that boom hits different. Like you feel like, but playing field is just like right now it's a movement
right now. Like,
right now it's
really hard to argue.
Back to what I said back then. Real like I'm gonna be quick. I think Trenton High had. I know they didn't really get the exposure, but I think when they was good, they kind of had the same.
Yeah, I missed that. Actually, I missed.
They kind of had the same when Cabe and them was there. They kind of had the same like type of fan base for that city. They packed out every.
It's a big city. It's a big. I think again, cities like we didn't hear anything about Plainfield for like 10 years. 7, 8 years. So I think it's one of those things, like big cities like that. Bob Hurley went on record and said Plainfield was like the best basketball community, like I think in the country. He said, and he's
North ain't gonna like that.
Yeah, I mean that's what Hurley said. Like goat rules. But yeah, I think the Plainfields, the Trentons, the Camdens, big cities like that, like you give them something to support. Like, and I think that's like one of the beauties of the game. You give them something to support, the people are gonna get behind it. And again, with Plainfield, it's not even so much the current students. I mean, they are behind the benches. Don't get me wrong, but on the other side is very much like middle-aged folks that
alumni.
Yeah,
alumni.
Unking them.
You got the Plainfield GOAT Ty Johnson there. Like a lot of the games, like
that's my guy Ty Johnson. So, looking at the New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Years over the last, let's say the last 10 years. Dylan Harper, 2024. DJ Wagner, 3 consecutive years. He won it 20. I didn't realize he won it 3 years in a row. 23, 22, 21. Woo! And I think he might. Was he the first to do that?
That's
Hold on.
Crazy.
Bree had it for, because I remember Bree got it.
Yeah.
AQ had it for 2.
2, yeah. Ty
Big Gilchrist had it for 2 on and off.
Cat won it twice.
I think DJ
Bree was in between.
It started in 2000, I believe.
Yeah, bro. He might have been the only one to do that, bro.
Yeah, period. Like Jersey.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. So DJ Wagner, 2023, 2022, 2021. He actually just scored 20. He just scored 17, I think, against his old
Kentucky.
Yeah. Wow. Cliff Omiori, 2020. Jaria Durahim, 2019. JQ won it 2018, 2017. Tyus Battle, 2016. Malachi Richardson, 2015. Carl Towns, 2014, 2013. Tyler Ennis, 2012. Michael Kidd Gilchrist, 2011. Kyrie, 2010. Kid Gilchrist, 09. Samardo Samuels, 08. Corey Fisher Price, 07. Brian Zubek, Haddonfield's very own South Jersey. Brian Zubek, 2006. Former Duke Blue Devil. Brandon Costner, Montclair legend, 2005. J.R. Smith, 2004. Lawal Dang, 03. Elijah Ingram, wow, that's a name you don't hear. Elijah Ingram, 02. John Blackgrove, he was from Hillsdale. What high school did he go to? Anybody know? John Blackgrove won it in 2001, and DeJuan Wagner won it the first year in 2000, which leads me to my next question. Who is the New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year 2025? For Mel, you go first.
My vote's for Blair's Deron Rippey Jr., guard, explosive. He sees the floor well, gets it done on defense. I think he's got it right now. I definitely think he's got it. That's my choice.
What you think? Okay.
All right. I mean, I'll be jumping ahead too much. My brain be just I'm gonna stick with Shaq, man.
You out there?
He averages
20 and 20. Moses Malone numbers.
Like, bro, he be just drop stepping and like.
I haven't seen a big man He's
not
doing
wrong.
he's doing
You're
real
not
big man,
wrong.
like Pete Newell big man camp.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I
not wrong. He
mean?
drop stepping, spinning. He's definitely a big man all around through and through. Dominant force in the paint.
Like
sure.
Nas Reed, like he was the last good big man I've seen that really dominate.
For
But
sure.
like the way he dominate is just different. I mean, wait, do you know how many offers he?
Who, Rippy?
Nah, the Shaq. I gotta
Hines?
say his government name.
Najee Hines.
Najee Hines. I gotta stop saying Shaq. Yeah, Najee Hines. I know he got offers in football now.
Yeah, I believe I saw him. Yeah, I know he did. He had some visits for football. So for Mel, you're going Rippy. Tay, you're going Baby Shaq.
Yeah, we need yours.
You want mine?
You
I'm
the
go,
you the one who handed out the award. So
yeah. And you know this young man, he didn't play in Hoop Jam last year, but you know, one thing we don't do at NJ Hoop Recruit is beef with kids, so we're not gonna hold that personal. But I think Brandon Lee. I think Brandon Lee is the New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year. Patrick School actually just beat Blair Academy this afternoon. I drove out to Parkland High School, Allentown, PA. Really good game. Jay Sean Williams played really well. Brandon Lee hit some really tough shots, like when it mattered down the stretch. He never does too much.
I seen him alive. I seen one of the shots he hit alive, and I was like,
he's
that was
very. I mean, he's like I think I described him as a licensed sniper on the live. But Illinois commit. I think he's ranked like 90 or 80 right now. I think you could definitely make the case for Rippy. Obviously, he's like, you know, probably the more favorable, you know, top, you know, McDonald's prospect, etc. But I think, I think, you know, I'm going Brandon Lee. We're gonna keep it balanced. You said Rippy, you said Najee. I'm going with the senior, the other senior. You know, I mean, from the best, and we didn't talk about it today. I was going to talk about it, but I think with that win, and chat, y'all let me know if I'm bugging, but I think pound for pound, Patrick School is the best team in New Jersey after that performance. But fellas, we are coming up on an hour. It's Sunday night. I know folk got to work tomorrow. Really appreciate y'all tapping in to make this happen. First ever Hoop Recruit Radio. We'll be back next Sunday, 9 p.m. Same time, same place. Fellas, remind them where they could find y'all stuff before we get out of here.
My Instagram is the Visual Hub, and my TikTok too. That's really the only two things I kind of post on, so you can follow me on there. And YouTube as well, the Visual
Hub. You can find me at Only Gym Rats 2 on Instagram. Gym Rats on YouTube, and Only Gym Rats on Twitter. So make sure y'all like, follow, do what y'all do, subscribe, do what y'all do. And shout out to my boy Justin, man. I just gotta
shout out to Justin.
Man, sure. Man. You always give us
it's amazing how this happens. Say we've been talking about this for like over a year. Man, for Mel, I'm just glad we ran into each other. The other week we were just having a real genuine conversation. I was like, you know what? Like, don't even waste any more breath. We're gonna bring this to the people need to hear these kind of conversations. But if y'all didn't, make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment. Again, same time, same place next Sunday. We got the rankings dropping tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Keep an eye out for that. This Thursday through Saturday, we'll be at Franklin High Metro Classic. Keep an eye out for the live streaming information. We're going to do at least one game every day on the YouTube. Otherwise, everything else will be available on All Abilities Live. Got some new merch dropping. I did a teaser a couple of days ago on the gram. A lot of encouraging feedback, so looking forward to dropping that. And we're going to drop that Patrick School Blair game soon. We also got Tay. I didn't forget about the Camden game either, so we're gonna get that up. But appreciate y'all tapping in, man. First ever Hoop Recruit Radio. Super encouraging response. Again, appreciate y'all tapping in, and we'll be back.
Get your merch.
Holla.